cooking once and eating twice. By cooking once and eating twice, I am not only saving money, but I am also using up my leftovers. I'm starting off by pulling a roast out of my refrigerator. Seasoning is very important. I am using this prime rib and rub all over the roast and placing it in my crock pot. Let's take some potatoes, peel them, slice them, and add them to the crock pot. Dicing up an onion, especially a red onion, and adding it to the pot gives it extra flavor. By using baby carrots, it saves me time on chopping. They add beautiful color and health benefits to my meal. Here's a tip. Another way to add even more flavor is by measuring 2 to 3 cups of water, adding some bouillon, and more of that rub seasoning. This makes for a delicious gravy later on. I am cooking this low and slow for 6 to 8 hours. Okay, your mouth has to be watering because mine is. This roast turned out delicious. I also made a homemade gravy to go over the roast, potatoes, and carrots. This is one of our favorite meals. Now comes the fun part, turning that roast into another delicious meal. I am making Philly cheesesteak loaded fries. Oof, it's gonna be so good. I'm adding the leftover roast right into a frying pan. For seasonings, I'm gonna use a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Now remember, I don't need a whole lot of seasonings because I have some delicious flavor going through the roast from it cooking in the crock pot yesterday. I added bouillon, which gives it some flavor, and also that rub. So I am keeping the seasonings on the lighter side. I've chopped up some green pepper and onion. I'm gonna add that into the roast. I'm gonna get some help from my air fryer. I am going to air fry some homemade French fries. I'm gonna use the same seasoning that I used on the roast on the fries. That'll help bump up that flavor perfectly with that roast. I'm gonna set my air fryer on 8 minutes. The temp is gonna be 380. I will stir them and then do it all over again and they should be good to go. So I have the French fries underneath of the meat and the onion and green pepper. But to top it off and make it extra special, I'm gonna add a piece of provolone cheese to it and I'm gonna let it melt all over the top. Ooh, did you just lick the screen? I'm going back to my crock pot for a little bit of help with tonight's dinner. Tonight, we are going to have moo shu pork. And let me tell you, this recipe is better than most restaurants. I placed my pork loin in the crock pot. I cut it in thirds and I seasoned it with salt and pepper. In a bowl, I have 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 bottles of hoisin sauce. I'm gonna mix that together and pour it all over the pork loin in the crock pot. I'm gonna set my crock pot to low and cook it anywhere from 6 to 10 hours. I went ahead and I shredded up the pork, and now to this, I'm gonna add 1.5 to 2 bags of the coleslaw mix. Now that I have this in the crock pot with the pork, I'm gonna let this cook together for another hour. So we like to put ours in tortillas. You can put it on a bed of rice if that's what you choose. I like to add a little tiny bit of rice to mine. And then on the side of this, I've also cooked up some egg rolls, and that rounds out our little Asian meal. Tonight, I'm gonna take these pork leftovers and I am gonna stick with an Asian theme. I am going to doctor it up with some vegetables. I'm gonna have some rice, maybe a little sauce added to it, and it's gonna be a delicious stir fry. I'm getting a little help from my rice cooker tonight. I'm gonna let it do all of the work. I've decided to add a little something to the pork from last night, so I'm gonna go with this P.F. Chang's sesame sauce. I think this is going to marry those flavors together perfectly. Also, I'm gonna get a little more help from the freezer section of my grocery store. I'm gonna use 2 bags of this sugar snap pea stir fry. This is actually one of our favorite blends of vegetables for stir fry. That's gonna help me bulk up our meal and add a little bit of color and help. Let's add that sesame sauce and bump up the flavor. Did you ask if I'm having egg rolls with it again tonight? Well, heck yes, I'm having egg rolls with it again tonight. I mean, I just can't not, you know? These ones are Jason's and Tim's favorite. We get them from Sam's Club. These ones, whoops. These ones are mine. They're going in the air fryer. In go the veggies. Oh, look at that color. Isn't that so pretty? Because the pork made so much food, we actually get to gain extra meals from the pork that I made yesterday, and that is lunches. We get to enjoy anything that's left over from the stir-fry meal for lunches this weekend, or we can even use just the regular pork roast and make up some more of the moo shu pork for lunches this weekend. So we're getting quite a few meals out of this pork loin. That makes me really happy. Rice is done. I've learned with my little rice maker that if I take my rice out, instead of leaving it set on warm, it stops the cooking process. If I leave it set on warm, it continues to cook it and the bottom of my rice will get brown or burnt, and I don't want that. So I set that out on my heat pad, and that's waiting for us for just a little bit. Now that is a lot of deliciousness happening right there, isn't it? If you're looking for 2 more videos to help you save money, these will definitely help you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.